Hey garden friends, I'm Nikki from Proven Winners Direct, and I have 7 more plants to show you for Plant of the Day beginning Monday, October 31st. And I'm really excited this week because we have some shrubs for our warm climate gardeners. I have 2 that are good from zones 8 to 11. So let's get started. I'm swimming in some Graceful Grasses Toffee Twist. But this is so good for movement and texture in both containers and landscapes. Has this beautiful, nice neutral palette, so it fits in anywhere. Totally feeling the fall vibes right now, however. So this is a cool season grass, meaning all of its growth is going to happen in the cooler temperatures of spring. It will generally hold its color throughout the summers, but once it starts getting into those high 70 temperatures, the growth is really going to slow down. I love to use this in my containers mostly because this is an annual for me, but it is a perennial in zone 7 and up. And if you have enough of them, you can go swimming. Next up we have the Proven Accents Tricolor Sweet Potato Vine. I love sweet potato vine, and this one's even better because it's got a really pretty purple frame and white variegation. It's gorgeous. Sweet potato vines are very vigorous growers. They're perfect in containers as a spiller. They do love to be fed as well. I planted these up with some Bordeaux Supertunia. It was gorgeous. Purple is my favorite, so naturally. You're gonna want to plant these in part to full sun. They're just really great at bringing beautiful texture to your containers. One thing to be mindful of with the sweet pea is that they do have a huge root ball, and some of them actually do form those sweet potatoes. Don't eat them. But be mindful of that because they are very vigorous. You're going to want to plant them with something that's also vigorous. Any of the Supertunias would be a perfect match. Absolutely gorgeous. Our next plant is the Chicklet Orange Tacoma, and this beauty is hardy in zones 8 through 11. I've been listening. I'm hooking you up, our warmer climate gardeners. So this cute little tropic beauty, it reminds me of the trumpet vine, obviously with the blooms, but it stays much more compact, so it's a lot more versatile. It grows to be about 3 to 6 feet tall, about 2 to 4 feet wide, so it's got a really nice rounded habit. I love the foliage on these. It kind of reminds me of like a little fan, and then obviously as it grows and matures, oh, I love it, and the way the trumpet blooms just sit on top, so pretty. So you're going to want to plant this in full sun. If you are in the north like me in the colder climates, we can plant these in containers for our patios. They push out these pretty orange blooms all season long. So all summer long it's just going to keep it's continuously reblooming. Don't have to deadhead it or anything. So pot it up in a patio container and we can still have it in the cold climates. Next up we have the Austin Pretty Limits Oleander. I got another one for you warm climate gardeners. This is a perennial in zones 8 to 11, and it's gorgeous. It's absolutely stunning. Obviously, as you can see here, it's got these long palm-like foliage, and this guy gets covered in these beautiful bright pink blooms. When I say covered, I mean covered, and literally all year long for you guys. All year long you have these magnificent pink blooms. I love it. So this has a nice rounded habit, 4 to 6 feet tall, 2 to 4 feet wide, and it's just so wispy and airy and a fun shrub. I love the look of it. And for those of us in colder climates, we can still plant this. It will act as an annual for us, unfortunately, but again, same thing as the Chiclet. We can put it in a container for our patios, and then we can enjoy those magnificent pink blooms all summer long as well. The one thing to remember about oleander, the Austin Pretty Limits, like all oleander, the sap is toxic. So if you prune this or trim it up a little bit, make sure that you wear gloves. However, you really shouldn't need much pruning with these guys. Our next plant is the Sweet Summer Love Clematis, and I love clematis so much. And this guy here is actually one of our best sellers, hands down, of all time, but it's because it's sturdy. and has continuous beautiful cranberry purple blooms. I know clematis can be kind of finicky. They can be tough to grow sometimes, but of the ones that I have planted at home, it must be the proven winner difference, but I have zero issues. This guy, if you're gonna start with a clematis, I definitely recommend the Sweet Summer Love because they're flawless. One thing to really set them up for success is to treat them the way we like to be treated, with our face in the sun and our toes in the sand. Am I right? So you are going to want to plant them behind something. Okay, so for example, I have one planted behind my dahlias. So what that does is, and when it grows up and the leaves and the blooms up top are nice in the sun, and then their roots are protected by my dahlias in front. And they will take a little bit of time to get to that size, obviously. The first year or two, they really focus on their roots. So my first time planting, I got super impatient with them and I was like, what's wrong with this clematis? Give it time. Let it get settled, then it will take off and produce these beautiful, beautiful, these are purple, gorgeous, they're like star-shaped blooms. You are going to love them. Hardy in zones 4 through 9. Our next plant is the Supertunia Mini Vista Violet Star. These guys are just as beautiful and vigorous as the regular Supertunias. They're just mini, and their blooms are much smaller, but they are perfect for fillers and spillers in the container. They can trail up to 2 feet. They have a beautiful, nice mounding habit, very dense branching. Plant these guys in part to full sun. Again, heavy feeders. You definitely want to be giving them water-soluble fertilizer to continue to push out those beautiful blooms. And I love these so much just because of that white variegation in there, the bicolor bloom. I love that it makes that purple really pop. Just a fun thing to add for your containers. Next up we have the Unplugged So Blue Salvia. I love, love, love Salvia. I love that there's the annual Salvia, the perennial Salvia, but they're both just as beautiful. This is an annual, except in zones 8 and up. It's got the perfect true blue blooms that are gorgeous, and the hummingbirds love Salvia. It's so funny because when I was younger, I just planted up plants that were pretty, right? I just cared about what it looked like, just the prettiest flowers. And my mom always has lots of pollinators, hummingbirds. She loves hummingbirds, has her feeders and everything. Well, when I started planting the Unplugged Salvias, I started to get more hummingbirds in my yard, and now it's so exciting, and I'll take a picture and send it to my mom. I'm growing into a more mature gardener. These are great in containers as thrillers, also in the landscape, mid to front, probably, maybe with some Supertunias in front to really make them pop. And aside from the gorgeous, gorgeous bloom color, these guys are just indestructible. I had pruned some of them back just because actually my Supertunias kind of took over before ones really could sprout. And I pruned them all back, pruned my Supertunias back, and these guys just grew back and they were happy as ever. Just indestructible, beautiful beauty that just keeps blooming and blooming and blooming all summer long. Thanks for hanging out today, guys, and letting me ramble on and on about pretty plants. I do hope that you learned something new or found something that you loved. We have all of the 7 plants plus many, many more available on our website. We do want you to try your local garden centers first, however, to see if they have what you're looking for. If not, we can't wait to see you on the site. Happy planting!